Rory McIlroy just said something that could shake the entire PGA Tour to its core, and most fans still have no idea it happened. While the whole golf world was locked onto Shinnecock Hills and the brutal chaos of the US Open, something far bigger was quietly exploding in the background. Rory McIlroy stood in front of reporters this week at the year's third major and absolutely torched the PGA Tour's brand new developmental track system, calling it nothing more than a glorified Korn Ferry Event. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most respected and most outspoken voices in professional golf just stood on the biggest stage in the sport and publicly humiliated a system the tour has spent months building and selling to fans. And the fallout from this comment is only just getting started. If you are new here, welcome to the channel where we bring you the fastest and most honest breakdown of everything happening across the PGA Tour. Make sure you smash that subscribe button right now, because today's story is one you do not want to miss. Rory has never been afraid to speak his mind, and this time he may have opened a wound that the tour cannot easily close. Let's set the scene. This week at Shinnecock Hills, every storyline should have been about golf. Wyndham Clark stormed out of nowhere to take a stunning lead. Scottie Scheffler was chasing history and his career Grand Slam dream. Joaquin Niemann picked up a controversial two-stroke penalty for an angry club throw. Bryson DeChambeau and Jon Rahm both missed the cut in shocking fashion. With all of that drama already swirling around the tournament, you would think there was no room left for another bombshell. But then Rory opened his mouth during a Tuesday press conference, and suddenly, every other storyline got pushed to the side. Reporters asked McIlroy about the PGA Tour's newly reported plan for a track system designed to create a clearer pathway between the developmental tours and the main PGA Tour. On paper, this system was supposed to be one of the tour's big answers to years of criticism about how disconnected the path to the top really is. The tour has been quietly testing the idea for months, hoping it would finally bridge the gap between rising stars and the big leagues. Instead of praising the concept, Rory dismissed it almost instantly. According to those in the room, he brushed the question aside and said the whole thing sounded like nothing more than a glorified Korn Ferry Event. For a guy who rarely holds back, this was still a shockingly blunt way to describe a project the tour has been promoting as a major step forward. Why does this matter so much? Because Rory is not just another player complaining for attention. He sits on the PGA Tour Policy Board. He has been one of the loudest and most influential voices pushing for reform inside the sport for years. When McIlroy criticizes something publicly, people listen because his opinion actually carries weight behind closed doors. This is not some random veteran venting on social media. This is a board member essentially telling fans and fellow players that he does not believe in a system the tour is actively trying to sell as progress. Almost immediately, golf media erupted. Veteran insider Eamon Lynch publicly predicted that Rory would eventually have to walk back some of what he said. That alone tells you how big of a moment this was. When respected insiders are already preparing the public for a walk back, before the player himself has even clarified anything, you know the comment hit a nerve. Fans flooded social media within minutes. Some praised Rory for finally saying what they believe everyone inside the locker room already thinks. Others accused him of disrespecting players who are actually grinding through the Korn Ferry Tour trying to make a name for themselves. Either way, nobody on golf Twitter was talking about anything else for the rest of the afternoon. Let's talk about what the track system actually is supposed to do, because context matters here. The PGA Tour has been searching for ways to make the path from the Korn Ferry Tour feel more connected and more meaningful. Right now, young golfers spend years grinding through smaller events, hoping for a handful of guaranteed PGA Tour cards at the end of the season. The new system was reportedly designed to give certain developmental players limited access to bigger PGA Tour fields throughout the year, almost like a trial run before fully graduating. Tour officials hoped this would create more buzz around rising stars and give fans a reason to follow players before they even reach the top level. Rory's comment basically suggests he sees right through that plan and believes it does not actually elevate anything. In his eyes, it just repackages the existing Korn Ferry structure and slaps a shinier label on it. This is not the first time Rory has clashed with tour leadership over big structural ideas. He has pushed back on signature event formats. He has questioned scheduling decisions. He has been openly critical of how slowly the tour moves on major reforms compared to how fast LIV golf shook up the sport. Some fans see this pattern and believe Rory is simply the conscience of the locker room saying out loud what other stars are too scared to admit. Others believe he talks a big game in press conferences but rarely follows through with real action behind the scenes. Whichever side you land on, there is no denying that his words carry weight every single time he opens his mouth at a press conference podium. So what happens now? Will the PGA Tour issue a formal response defending the new system? Will other players publicly back Rory's blunt assessment? Or will this entire controversy quietly fade away, buried under the bigger headlines coming out of Shinnecock Hills this weekend? Insiders suggest the tour is unlikely to directly fire back at one of its most marketable stars, especially during major championship week. But behind closed doors, you can bet there are already tense conversations happening between policy board members trying to figure out how to spin this story before it spreads even further. One thing is certain. Rory McIlroy just reminded everyone why he remains the most talked about player in golf, even when he is not leading a leaderboard. While Wyndham Clark chases history and Scottie Scheffler chases a career Grand Slam, Rory found a way to make himself the center of attention without even hitting a shot that mattered to the headline. That is a rare kind of influence in professional sports, and it is exactly why so many fans either love him or cannot stand him, depending on the week. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with Rory that this new track system really is just a dressed-up version of the Korn Ferry Tour? Or do you think he is being unfair to a system that has not even fully launched yet? Drop your honest take down in the comments below, because this debate is just getting started across the entire golf world. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button right now, because it genuinely helps this channel grow and reach more golf fans just like you. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it before you leave, because we are covering every single twist coming out of this US Open, and you do not want to miss what happens next. Stick around, because we have another massive story breaking soon about the chaos unfolding at Shinnecock Hills. And trust me, you are going to want to see it before anyone else does. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Share.